USMCA. Can you explain why you don't think, one, that Pelosi understands the deal, and two, why doesn't your administration send that text to Pelosi and force her hand and start the clock?
Well, they're being
on that
very
vote?
nice to her because they really, she's a mess. Look, let's face it, she doesn't understand it. And they sort of feel she's disintegrating before the rush. She does not understand it. They want to have her understand it before it's finished. It's signed. As you know, Mexico's approved the deal. Canada's approved the deal. And they're waiting to get a signal for her. Now, I would say this, the farmers should start talking to the Democrats in the House. The Senate's ready to approve it, the Republican Senate, but the Democrat House is not. Pelosi does not understand the bill. She doesn't understand it. Even though unions are in favor of it, farmers, everybody just about is in favor of it. It's a replacement for, as I said, the worst trade deal ever made. So she's got to get up to snuff, learn the bill. And by the way, I think she wants to approve it. I think. But so Bob Lighthizer, who you can speak to if you want, he's waiting to get the okay from her to send it in. But we're at a point where we're just going to have to send it in. It's all ready.
How long will you wait, sir?
Well, he said she'd like to have 2 weeks to get to know the bill. I think that's a long time. I think it's a do-nothing Congress. The Democrats have done nothing in the House. They've done absolutely nothing. They don't get it. I mean, other than investigate. They want to, let's investigate. After the Mueller report came out, no collusion, no obstruction, no nothing. Let's start it all over again. They weren't too happy, so they want to just keep it going. And what that does is it takes up tremendous time and energy, and they've done absolutely, I mean, it's just been it's been very bad. So if they don't get the USMCA, that would be very sad. Jeff?
Speaker Pelosi said today she hoped your family would conduct an intervention with you. What's your reaction to that?
No, I saw her read it perfectly, just the way she said it. It's very, very sort of a nasty type statement, but I will say this. She said I walked into the room right next door yesterday and walked in and started screaming and yelling. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. Because I know that they will always say that, even if it didn't happen, because this happened once before. I walked out, I was so calm. You all saw me minutes later. I was at a news conference. I was extremely calm. I was probably even more so in that room. So I walked into the cabinet room. You had the group, Crying Chuck, Crazy Nancy. I tell you what, I've been watching her, and I have been watching her for a long period of time. She's not the same person. She's lost it. Now, as far as the group is concerned, where is Sarah, Kellyanne? Where are you? Come here a minute. You were in that room. Kellyanne? You were in the room. Sarah was in the room. Mercedes was in the room yesterday. So I just want to let you know, every time I go into a room, if there aren't cameras, they come out and say, oh, he was yelling, he was screaming. Kellyanne, what was my temperament yesterday?
Very calm, no temper tantrum. I told the Facts First crowd as they published that you were fuming, temper tantrum, rage, lost it, that's just a lie because everyone was sure somebody had it on tape too. But you were very calm, stood at the end of the
They have it on tape
cabinet.
someplace? Good. That'd be
Cabinet,
good.
you stood at the end of the table, stated your case.
Peter doesn't want to hear this, by the way. He wants to ask
The
another
headlines are written there.
because he doesn't. He's fake news. But go
By the way,
ahead.
sir, Mr. President, why would you have to raise your voice? You said to them, when you're done, your 2 tracks, come back and we'll talk about infrastructure. You've made that very clear.
We
You're working
had the meeting
infrastructure,
set up,
drug
right?
pricing, USMCA. You've made that very clear to them.
And I just don't know what she's going to do with USMCA. It's going to be one of the great trade deals of all time. And frankly, if we didn't have tariffs, we would never have a deal like this. Because when Canada, when Mexico said they're not going to agree to certain points, I said, that's okay, we're just going to tariff your nation. We're going to tariff you. Either you're going to agree or not. It's a great deal. In fact, you know, your friends on the other side of the border, they started striking and picketing. So that's usually not a good sign for the other side, right? We made a great deal. But whether or not Pelosi understands it or whether, I don't think she's capable right now of understanding it. I think she's got a lot of problems. Mercedes, you were in the room yesterday. I walked in, and I would say in this voice, I said, not right what you did, and calling a meeting like this wasn't right. And so I said, so I'm going to postpone it or call it off. But you can focus on one thing. You shouldn't go down 2 tracks at the same time because they can't. They're so, the whole Democrat Party is very messed up. They have never recovered from the great election of 2016, an election that I think you folks liked very much, right? Well, Nancy Pelosi was not happy about it, and she is a mess.